Hello and welcome to some gameplay from the PC version of Project Cars 2, a fantastically ambitious sim game which will be arriving on Xbox One, PS4 and PC at some point late this year. Now, because this is unashamedly a game for petrol heads, rather than concentrating on features aimed at normals, like the vastly improved joypad controls for people who aren't blessed with expensive steering wheel controllers, I'm going to focus on 6 things in Project Cars 2 that car nerds will adore. If you don't know your S-Class from your Expo, prepare to learn stuff. The headline number when it comes to cars is 170. There will be 170 vehicles to choose from in Project Cars 2, plenty of which will have been carried over from the first game and its DLC. The new additions are rather exciting though. For a start, there are now Porsches and Ferraris in the game, 2 of the hardest licenses to secure. Combine that with the McLaren license the team already have, and you've got the hypercar holy trinity of the Porsche 918 Spider, Ferrari LaFerrari and McLaren P1 represented in the game. Apparently, Project Cars 2 will also be the official game of the IndyCar series, and while not all that championship circuits will be in there, the Indianapolis and Texas motor speedways have both been confirmed. There's even weird stuff like the official Mercedes Ice driving experience, which replicates a real-life driving academy hosted on a frozen lake in the northern reaches of Sweden. All the fun of ice racing, none of the carefully defrosting your extremities in a warm bath afterwards. There will be lots of circuits in Project Cars 2, divided into 50 plus locations and 200 unique courses. What's more interesting to the hardcore is how those circuits have been recreated. Project Cars 2's real-world courses have been built with laser scans, 3D photogrammetry from drone-mounted cameras, or a little bit of both. Whichever method has been used, it'll be more accurate than whittling out a track elevation by hand like in your pappy's days. Oh, and it's been confirmed that the Nürburgring Nordschleife laser scan data, which has been utilised in Forza, Assetto Corsa and Race Room, will also be the basis of Project Cars 2's version. It even looks like they've cracked the localised fog that lingers around the circuit, which means this could well be the definitive rendition of the Green Hell. Also announced is racing off-road, on loose surfaces and on the aforementioned ice. Not much in the way of concrete details about that so far, but what, was winning races on tarmac too easy for you? Where things get supremely nerdy is in the Live Track 3.0 technology, which basically means that the grip levels on the circuit are constantly changing for various realistic reasons. The track will rubber in over the course of a race as the tyres wear, wet mud dragged onto the circuit by wayward cars will be slippery but then might get baked dry by the sun, the ground can become saturated with water with parts of the circuit flooding and clearing via realistic drainage points. Yes, this game accurately models the drains. Similarly, wind speed and direction will affect lighter, more aero-sensitive cars like the Indy cars, and might mean that when you arrive at a hairpin with a tailwind invisibly pushing you along, you find yourself travelling into the corner a little bit quicker than last time. Of course, this all ties into the new weather effects, which are, in short, astonishing. You can choose to race the circuits at any time of year, meaning if you want to tackle Brands Hatch with a thick layer of snow on the ground, you can. All the weather is properly localised now, with actual raindrops falling from actual clouds. That means on longer circuits it can be raining on the backstretch and bone dry in the pit lane. It's the sort of thing that would give Michael Fish anxiety dreams. The difference in seasons affects the colour of leaves on trees and even the amount of snow on the peak of Mount Fuji in the background, which is the sort of attention to detail displayed only by simulation video game developers and serial killers. They say every circuit can be played at any time of year. I wonder if when you set this frozen lake location to the middle of summer it just drops your Mercedes in the water with a weighty sploosh? And if not, why not, Slightly Mad Studios? Perhaps you're not quite as mad as you claim to be. Having turned a few laps ourselves, we're happy to report that the handling is much improved over the previous game, thanks to a brand new tyre model. Not a model of a tyre, a mathematical model that replicates how tyres behave. This all feeds into the audio too. You can hear the tyres protesting at the limits of grip, and there's not just a single tyre squeal sound effect, but proper layered effects so you know when you're about to run out of adhesion. The excellent new handling is most noticeable with a proper force feedback wheel, but as mentioned in the intro, even if you're a gamepad jockey, the gamepad controls now just work properly out the box, rather than requiring as much pre-game slider tweaking as an RPG character creator. A bit like GT Sport, Project Cars 2 will dish out a virtual race license to its players. That license will feature both ability and professionalism scores. Those scores affect multiplayer matchmaking, with professionalism the priority. What this means is that people who prefer to approach the first corner like a 10-pin bowling lane will end up being match-made with each other, at least until they see the error of their ways and start racing clean. Meanwhile, your ability score goes up hugely if you beat someone with a much higher ability score, but will drop like a stone if you lose to someone who ordinarily can barely keep it on the circuit. Just don't expect to be able to haul out your Xbox One and present your virtual license to the police if you get pulled over. These licenses will tie into an increased focus on esports, with league organising systems built directly into the game and with new broadcast options such as a live director mode and the option to have a console dedicated just for streaming. There's actually a chance people will watch those esports too. So there you go, some gameplay from Project Cars 2. Will you be picking the game up when it arrives later this year? What element of pedantic simulation nerdery are you most excited about? Let us know in the comments and like and subscribe for more from Outside Xbox. See you next time.